Well, hey everybody, my name is Scott Vitro, and I'm glad to be part of this class. My definition of communication research, after googling it, reading through our textbook and stuff, my personal definition of it would be researching a communication topic that hasn't been researched before, and that can relate to many different topics. As far as there's politics, interpersonal relationships, organizations, and just about anything and everything can and does involve some sort of communication. So that would be my personal definition, would be researching something that hasn't been researched before as far as anything related to communications. And with that, one of the interesting concepts that I found in our CSI textbook this week was narrowing down what your research question should really be about. And not only just narrowing it down, but the textbook talks about narrowing it down to something that is interesting, relevant, and new. And so, for example, I'm a technical writer, and I'm in aviation, and I have a military background. So, and I'm also a Christian. So, I would probably want to research something that I can identify with, in some way, shape, or form in those areas. I'm not going to pick a topic that I don't know about. I'm not going to pick, the relationship between NASCAR drivers and eating habits or something, like that, because I have no idea about eating habits or NASCAR drivers or something like that. I'm just using that as an example. But yeah, so that was the first interesting concept I learned. And the second interesting concept piggybacks on that later in the chapter. It talks about not only narrowing down your question, but posing your question in a correct manner, in a research type manner. And what I mean by that is not loading questions, I think was probably the most important concept I took away from this week's reading. The book gives the example of the posing the question, why are politics biased? Well, that's assuming that politics are biased. Now, I mean, most of us would probably agree that yes, politics are biased, but um, I think the author revised that question to say something more along the lines like, are politics biased? And even though that's a pretty simple question, I think most people would agree on the answer. That's a better premise for a research question. So narrowing down your topic to something that's relevant, interesting, and that you know about, and then not loading your question with presumptions. I think we're the best concepts I learned this week. So take care. I'm interested to see your comments, and have a blessed day.